I was walking into the studio. I thought, wait, today's Friday. I know I always say that, but these days fly by. And so here we are again on a Friday. And by the way, this past week, I just happened to run a bunch of old videos of complaint videos. And one or two of them, I didn't even realize that when I went and pulled them up. I have a list of videos by number, and I've shuffled them around, and I just grabbed one at random, and it was a complaint video. And then my good friend Tom called me and said, Steve, do you know the video in which you mentioned somebody complaining that you don't support small businesses? And I go, not off the top of my head, why? And he goes, well, he teaches a philosophy class. And he goes, in there, you give the example where somebody says, how come you don't support small business? And of course, I never said I did or didn't. And he said, that's a great example of the old, when did you stop beating your wife? So I figured out what it was, and he actually knew the number of the video. And I pulled it, and it was in the vault. So I put it up and revealed it on the vault channel. That's the thinking, is these old videos that are no longer online, they're in a vault someplace. So I thought, well, anyways, so I did that. So I apologize for all the complaints and whining, but people seem to enjoy those videos, but here we are. It's a Friday. So a bunch of things I got to tell you. First of all is somebody posted on my channel, on the vault channel, and said, Steve, you're wrong, and I'll debate you for $100. Now, the funny part is, I'm not even sure what the person thought I was wrong about, but I get these offers where people want to debate me. And I think I mentioned before that there's a guy who called me up and said, Steve, I've got 17 dictionaries. Do you want to debate? And I said, are we going to debate or throw them at each other? What do you mean? Why is the number of dictionaries you have important to a debate? Besides, can I count all the 20 volumes? The OED, is that 1 or is that 20? But anyways, guy goes, I want to debate you. And it was a constitutional issue and he goes, I want to debate you for $100. And so here, I'm going to respond to that here. I'm willing to debate anyone on any topic. But understand that when I'm not shooting videos, I'm an attorney. And my hourly rate is $750 an hour. And yes, I've had a court award me that. So I've had people go, oh, that might be what you charge people, but that's not. I've had a court say that's reasonable, $750 an hour. So I charge $750 an hour for my time. So if you want to debate me about something, tell me how many hours the debate is going to be and pay me $750 an hour for those hours, minimum 1 hour. If you pay me in advance and say, I want 2 hours of your time, you pay me $1,500, and then you can debate me for 2 hours. And by the way, I will not be dispensing legal advice during the debate, and that'll be in writing that I'm going to sign, and you got to sign it too, and say that you understand, unless you're in Michigan, that you understand that we are not attorney-client, and I'm not giving you legal advice. But I'll debate you for $750 an hour because that would make it worth my time. And also, if you want to record it and broadcast it on your channel, I've got to double that. Because I've had people who clearly wanted to debate me in an attempt to get more viewers on their channel. So I'm not going to put you on my channel. So $750 an hour if you agree that it's just you and me having a debate. And if you want to record it or broadcast it, double that, pay me up front, we'll debate all day long. So there you go. I told the story about how I got up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning during a rainstorm, and I heard this weird sound like a woodpecker. And it turns out that it was a little strip of siding on the side of my house that was being caught by winds. It was raining, dark out, and there's 25-mile-an-hour winds gusting to 50. And when the wind hit it just right, it would cause it to do this, and it would hit the house and sound like a woodpecker. And so I said that I had to get up, wake up, get dressed, grabbed a ladder and a roll of duct tape, walked outside and duct taped it down and went back inside and tried to go back to sleep. I had several people who wrote not just, hey, Steve, here's what you should do, but in a condescending tone. And by the way, these are comments or emails. Someone said, Steve, the way you fix that is you nail it back up. I didn't say that duct tape was a permanent fix. I said that that's what was handy at 3 o'clock in the morning in the dark, in the rain, in the wind. I'm not going to go digging around looking for nails in the dark. Someone else said you could have opened up the window and done it all from inside. That's an interesting point, and I'm not making fun of this response. I'm simply pointing out that if I'd opened the window up, the wind would have torn it off and it would have been down the street because that window opens up sideways. and the wind is coming from this direction, gusting to 50 miles an hour. And also, that's assuming that I wanted to open that window, lean out and do some work so the rain would just be coming into my house. This is raining out with 25 to 50 mile an hour winds. And then somebody else says, I can't believe you used duct tape. You should have used drywall screws, as opposed to nails. I need to get the nail guy and the drywall screw guy, have them debate. As if I've got drywall screws laying around at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I also got another guy who sent me an email with an explanation as to why duct tape was not the proper fix. It's a very, very lengthy explanation, for which I appreciate, but I think when I tell you that I fixed something with duct tape at 3 o'clock in the morning, you should be able to guess that that is, in fact, a temporary fix. Now, I got a bunch of correspondence yesterday. I got a ton of correspondence yesterday. And I haven't been talking about this lately on my channel, but I still get lots of correspondence and stuff sent to me. I got a package yesterday. It says, Dear Steve, I ran across this device while cleaning, thought the nostalgia would be pleasing for you. It comes from a business we used to have here. Jack. Okay, so handwritten note is accompanying something that Jack sent me. This is so cool. And I've jokingly said that I used to work at a gas station. If you gave me a credit card, I'd go inside and I'd clunk clunk with one of those credit card imprinters. Right there, baby. Credit card imprinter. Oh, you got a credit card? Okay. Sign there. And it's actually got the metal plate with the name and address and I think the account number of the business that this credit card imprinter was used by. Now, this is patent protected from imprinters.com. So it appears to at least have come out and been used at some point when the internet existed. And it also has a hint that it was actually Fabrique au Canada, made in Canada. But there you go. Ow! That's the problem. It's been so long. I forgot how to do that. Although generally you don't hold it up like this for a camera. Generally you put it on a flat surface, but it's going to cause that might travel through the microphone. But I'm not sure if I can display that, but just know that I've got it. And I take credit cards now. Oh, boy. I've got a bunch of shirts in the mail yesterday and a bunch of letters, and I'm not quite sure which letters go with which, but I'm going to tell you. George and Noreen wrote me a very nice letter. Dear Steve, this is a thank you for all the information and entertainment you provide. Sorry I'm typing this as I have limited use of my hands since 2017. I don't care if you type it, write it, scribble it with crayons. I don't care. I love analog mail. I grew up in Ingham County delivering the State Journal. And of course, it's a Lansing State Journal. I left Michigan in 1968 when I joined the Army and haven't returned for many years. I now reside in Maryland with my wife of 52 years. Congratulations, my friend. That's a long time, 52 years. 1968, of course, is a great year in Michigan. The Detroit Tigers won the World Series. I remember that summer vividly because of that. He says, remembering Milo, Wolfie, and Youngling, our dog who passed away on Christmas Day after 17 years. Hope this finds you and your family in good health. Again, many thanks. Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year. And I apologize, I may have mispronounced the dog name, but George and Noreen from Maryland sent me that. And also, I got to tell you, a guy named Jeff. Hey, Jeff, how you doing, my friend? Jeff writes me letters, and he writes me quite often. And they're often short letters, but they are funny. They're funny. And he sent me a note this time, and it says, Steve, country music and the law. And he goes, Steve, how about some good country music songs for lawyers, such as the Lemon Law Blues? That sounds like a chart buster right there, Lemon Law Blues. Case Law and Cornbread, A Country Attorney Can Survive, and The Sheriff, Civil Asset Forfeiture, and My Dang Tractor. Great videos, Jeff. I think I'm going to say I shot the sheriff, but I've got a good alibi. Anyway, I also got an email from a letter from a guy, who says, Hi, Steve, I feel like a kid writing to Santa. In my business of ground transportation in Rapid City for the past 38 years. He goes, I've met around 300 celebrities, directors, producers, etc., and have worked as a teamster on 6 major motion pictures. And he has a business which he started as a taxi service when he was 18, driving a four-door Maverick. And at the time, he had a voice pager and an answering service. But he's met all these people. And he says, I love your work and can't wait to watch your new videos. My wife teases me and says, are you watching your boyfriend again? Sturgis was winding down last week, and I stopped and got a t-shirt because they were on sale. And I wore that on a video earlier today. It'll pop up on the channel very soon. But he says, please excuse my writing abilities or lack thereof, as I thought I knew everything at 15. I dropped out of school to become a business owner. Luckily, it turns out I'm a good businessman, and against all odds, have been successful enough to retire comfortably. I believe we're about the same age. My mother is from Michigan, and I look forward to spending some time in your beautiful state next year. I'll be the one in the 40-foot diesel pusher. I won't buy a new one thanks to you. With a huge enclosed trailer full of toys, my beloved Papillon Rexy. I have relatives that have a cabin at Silver Lake. Going to go try to hook them up. I remember the giant dune buggy machines. Yeah, Silver Lake is a really cool area along the shore of Lake Michigan. And there's sand dunes between Lake Michigan and Silver Lake. And the sand dunes are such that you're allowed to ride dune buggies out there. And there's companies that even give rides in big dune buggies. It's a lot of fun. I've done that before. He says, I've had the pleasure of driving Jay Leno on several occasions. He's quite a cool guy. So cool that he hooked you up on your book. And he thanks me for this because I'll be watching for the Sturgis shirt in an upcoming video. Kevin. So Kevin runs a business called Rapid Shuttle, and also Diamond Premier Limo over there in Rapid City. So check that out. And then finally, and I don't have the letter with me, and it got separated, but someone sent me an addition for the shelf, and just to let you know, it'll go on the shelf as soon as I clear out some space for it. But it's a car, and you may have seen this car in film and so on before. And of course, this is a beautiful, beautiful rendition of the Batmobile. Now, I'd like to point out a couple things about this Batmobile for you, in case you didn't catch this, is that the capes are flying on the dynamic duo, not because the car is moving, but because they're both jumping into the car. And you'll recall that when they're in a real hurry, they could jump in over the doors. And so they're both jumping into position with their capes behind them like that. And of course, all good crime fighters wear capes. So there they are, jumping into position. So this is the correct scale for all the cars back here. So I will put it back here someplace. And I'm getting to the point now where I've got to move stuff around when I ever add something. And I got to really ask myself, do I remove something or do I simply condense? And I recently made another change. Besides the shuffling of the license plates behind me, I had another person send me one that says Lehto's Law from another state. And I've now got 5 or 6 of those. So I put up the most recent one from North Carolina. But just so you know, there are 5 license plates in that stack. And every couple of days, I'm going to just pull one out and put it in the back and just rotate through them. I actually thought I should get one of those license plate flipper devices like in a James Bond movie. And flip through it but I don't want to be distracting here. So I will flip through those. And if you've ever sent me anything and it wound up on the set and then it disappeared, it'll work its way back. I don't throw anything away. I'm a pack rat. I've got everything everyone's ever sent to me. And I just simply try to make sure that I can get everyone involved here and put everything on display. Some things go on almost permanent display. I'm going to tell you right now that the 4 top cars, 3 of them are about, cars, the cars I wrote books about, and 1 is my Viper, which I own an actual version of that. So the top 4 cars will never change. And the microphones probably will never change either, unless I get some cooler ones and have to rotate some of them out. But as of right now, some of the other stuff will get rotated around, so we'll get to it. But the Batmobile, with the guys jumping into the seats, will be up there very, very soon. So that's it for Friday. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.